How's it going, guys? Anthony from Saz 4x4 here again, and today I thought I'd do a bit of a different video from usual. I'm going to tell you some things that I dislike about my 2000 TB45 Turbo Patrol. So yeah, let's get into it. The first thing that really annoys me is the lack of room under the bonnet. Obviously I've done some modification to this. I've got the turbo and all that, but even from factory there's nothing. You can't even fit a second battery, especially if you've got ABS and all that stuff back there. You can't fit anything. So I've had to run my second battery in the boot, which takes up obviously boot space as well. So yeah, most Patrols, they do have room for a second battery, but TB45s, good luck, that's all I'm saying. So yeah, that's one thing that really annoys me, and on to the next thing. So the next thing that really annoys me has nothing to do with the turbo setup or the engine or anything like that. And this video is going to have a little bit of everything. It's not all going to be turbo related. It's other little general things that annoy me. And the next thing that is really, really annoying is the head unit dash surround that keeps breaking 1,000 times. So what I'm talking about is this right here. As you can see, I've tried to glue it 1,000 times and it didn't look that disgusting at first. I've glued it nicely about 20 times before it came to this point. And down here it's broken beyond repair. There's my 2 battery monitors, by the way. And then we've got the Polaris head unit, which is really good. But the dash surround is really crap. And the problem is they're not easy to find either. You can only really get them second hand. And if you can't get them second hand, you can get a black one, all black, brand new. It's like $300, and it doesn't have the cutouts for the antenna going up and down, because that's obviously part of the TI model, so it doesn't have all that kind of stuff, which makes it a real pain if you do get that one, because then you've got to cut all the stuff out for the switches and that. It just becomes a real pain. Hence the reason why it's at its current state, and I haven't been able to do anything really about it. So maybe one day I'll find one second hand somewhere with wood grain as well. Fingers crossed, but yeah, we'll see, maybe in another 5 years' time. So while we're on the topic of the dash surround, might as well talk about this antenna switch, which is really annoying. So for those of you guys that don't know, on the TB45, the TI models, it came out with an antenna that goes up and down. You can choose for it to go higher or lower. And then when the radio is off, it's normally down. But what's really annoying about it is with the aftermarket head unit, it doesn't go down, so it's always up. And what happens is it's up and then it hits against trees, which then it bends it. So then you try and unbend it with your hands, but then it glitches out the system. So now every time you turn the car on, it fully extends all the way up, and then you got to press it down for it to kind of go down. And yeah, it's just annoying because each time it gets bent by branches and you got to keep unbending it. And yeah, bit of a headache, but then again, you know, it is what it is. Another thing that I don't really like is that the tail lights on the body of the vehicle don't actually turn on. So this is a thing with all Patrols, not specific to the TB45, but it does really annoy me, and you've only got one reverse light. So normally the ones on the factory bar, as well as mine's an aftermarket bar, but these ones work and these ones don't come connected. You can connect them if you want to, but then again, it is a bit of a hassle. I wish they all just came working. Not too much of a big deal, but still annoys me. While we're at the rear of the car, I'm going to address another thing that's kind of a bigger issue, and I don't know if it's specific to me, but I've had this problem. Sorry for the wind, it's a bit windy, by the way. The car always leans to the back right. Okay, it is on a bit of a tilt at the moment because of the road as well, but no matter what it is, always tilts. I've gone through 3 sets of springs, 0 to 100 kilo, I think 150 kilo constant load, and now they're at 350 kilo constant load, and it still sags to the back right. And my suspicion is because of the tyre and the sub-tank on this side, probably makes this side a little bit heavier than the left side. But yeah, that always happens to me, and I have not been able to fix it. I'm thinking I've gone to maybe the right side have a heavier duty coil and the left side have a lighter coil, but I don't know, that's a bit dodgy. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have had that kind of issue with your Patrol. If you guys own a Patrol and you've noticed that, leave a comment down below. I just want to know if I'm the only one. But yeah, that's one that really does annoy me, especially if I load it up. Oh, then you notice it a lot. Another thing that I dislike, but it's not the end of the world, is the fact that it's only got 4 gears, which doesn't help with fuel economy. I'll talk about fuel economy later, that's another thing. But yeah, doesn't help, but you know, it is what it is. I've actually changed mine to a manualized auto. So for me to change gears, it does not auto anymore. So I've took the computer out. I've got to go into first for first gear, second for second gear, drive for third. And then I've got an overdrive button here, which makes it go into fourth. And then I've actually got a torque converter lockup, which locks up the torque converter as well. So that's good for like 100 k's an hour. I sit at about 1,800 RPM, which is pretty good. But around the city and that, sometimes the gears, you'd want to have one more gear, which would be better. But I guess it is a 20-year-old car, so you can't be asking for too much. Going back to the topic of the turbo setup, there is a few things that were quite challenging when doing the turbo setup, which would be easier if it wasn't like that, but I guess no car is perfect. There's always going to be challenges. Is if you want to fit 3-inch intercooler piping like I have here, you've got to cut holes between that, which is normal, and you've got to move your windshield washer bottle. So your windshield washer bottle does not fit with this. I think I have seen a few people do it. I don't know how they do it. I tried a lot. Fabrication shops, everyone tried. They were not able to do that, so I had to relocate it here, which looks really ugly. I will probably make a custom bottle, stainless steel or something, so it looks better. But for now, it's just like that. So yeah, you got to do that. I think with a 2.5-inch pipe or a 2-inch pipe, you are still able to retain the factory bottle over there if you do that. But I wanted obviously to run bigger pipe, more air, more power, you know, let everything flow smoother. So that's the way I've done it. Another thing on the same topic is the aircon doesn't work the best, and my suspicion is because of the intercooler. You've got the air going through the intercooler, which is getting heated, and then you've got other coolers. I've got my trans cooler and my power steering cooler in there, and then it gets to the condenser. So the air is getting really hot. When you're stationary, it's not the best, but when you're moving, it's not too bad. So that's another thing, and that comes to another point as well, which is really concerning. And that is the amount of heat in the engine bay. So it gets really hot in the engine bay. The engine does not overheat. My coolant temps are always perfect. I've never had any overheating issues like that, like you see with the TD42s and all that. I've never had any kind of those issues. But the problem is the actual temperature under the bonnet is hot, and it comes down to the fact the turbo is so high and there's not too much airflow. So I'm thinking about getting a scoop. That might be a future video that comes up, putting an engine scoop in. I want to mold it with fiberglass and do all that. Or as a temporary fix, another idea I've had is this. Now this is a bit dodgy, so don't judge me, but I'm thinking about adding a couple of washers, a bit longer bolts, space out the bottom of the bonnet, so we got some airflow through here. We'll remove this seal, so as the air comes in, it gets sucked up and out through here. Only thing is, I'm not sure if it'll steam up my window, but that's probably a temporary fix. Obviously, long run, I do want to get a scoop or maybe a rear-facing scoop or something like that, just to try and keep these engine bay temperatures down a little bit. That brings me to my final point, and the thing that I hate the most about this car, and I'm sure all you can agree, is the terrible fuel economy. So I get between 35 and 40 litres 100, just normal driving, like not even crazy sending. And if I start putting my foot down, it will get up to 60 litres 100. So that's one thing that's really not fun. But then again, I don't drive this car every day, so for me it hasn't been too bad because I just drive it on trips and weekends and stuff like that. So I've been able to manage it that way. Now I know everyone's gonna tell me that's crazy fuel economy and there's got to be something horribly wrong with the car. Trust me, I've been through it all. There's nothing wrong with it. They're just a thirsty motor, and obviously once you add massive tyres, big lift, and I'm probably sitting around 3 tonne with all my rebars, side steps, bull bar, rooftop tent and all that kind of stuff, you're adding a lot of weight, a lot of stress to the car. It doesn't help. So I've retuned this car 3 times by 2 different tuners. I've changed all the injectors. I've done it all. Trust me, take it from me, I've done it all. You're not going to get better fuel economy than that. There is people that say, oh, you know, we get better, much better, like 20 litres and all that kind of stuff. Like again, it all comes down to your individual setup. Like I said, I'm running big. They're not that big in today's days. Like 35s were massive 5 years ago. Now it's like the norm's 40s, but 35s. You know, again, like I said, running all the bars, all the gizmos, everything, so weighs it down. And obviously I've got factory diff gears as well that could play a part, but I do not want to be sitting at 3,000, 4,000 RPM on the highway if I change them. So I'm pretty happy with those at the moment. So I think that's about it. And don't get me wrong, I really do like this car. I love this car actually. This is no by means saying like I don't like, I want to get rid of it, anything. Like, it's staying for a long time. But this is just my opinion. Obviously you guys might not 100% agree with it. Everyone's got their own opinions. That's just the things that I found from owning this car, what I don't like about it. But like I said, the benefits of it definitely outweigh the negative stuff. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video and want more kind of videos like this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. See you later, guys.